History is full of ghosts, not the spectral kind that haunt old houses, but the ghosts of armies lost to time, their stories fading into the mists of legend. Among the most legendary, and perhaps the most well-documented, is the story of the 10,000 Greek mercenaries stranded deep within the heart of the Persian Empire, a vast and unforgiving land. Their ordeal began in 401 BC. They marched with unwavering determination into a land that threatened to swallow them whole, a place of scorching deserts and towering mountains. Their fate at that moment was shrouded in mystery. An uncertain path lay before them. The Persian Empire, a realm of immense wealth and power, was ruled by Artaxerxes II, a king secure on his throne, but his ambitious brother, Cyrus the Younger, secretly coveted the throne and plotted to seize it. Into this storm of ambition, political intrigue and inevitable betrayal marched 10,000 Greeks, their shields gleaming under the foreign sun. They were fighting for a foreign prince, a man whose ambition would lead them into the heart of darkness. These were not raw recruits or inexperienced conscripts, but hardened veterans, seasoned by the brutal campaigns of the Peloponnesian War. Hoplites wielding their spears, archers with their deadly bows, and nimble skirmishers, all skilled in the art of war. They were selling their swords, their loyalty, and their lives for the promise of glory and gold. Cyrus promised them untold riches and a swift, decisive campaign, but the reality was a grueling march into the unknown, a journey fraught with peril. Their journey quickly transformed into an epic of survival against all odds, a battle won against overwhelming forces, a war ultimately lost due to treachery, and a desperate, harrowing retreat through hostile lands, pursued by enemies at every turn. Starvation gnawed at their bellies, betrayal struck from within, and relentless attacks from hostile tribes tested their courage and their will to live to the absolute limit. Against all odds, many of them eventually made it home, forever changed by their experiences. But many others vanished without a trace, becoming a ghost army, lost to the sands of time, their fate a haunting mystery echoing through the millennia, a question mark etched into the pages of history. Their story is a powerful testament to courage in the face of adversity, to the endurance of the human spirit, and the eternally haunting question, what truly happened to them? What became of those who never returned from that long and brutal march? The legend of the 10,000 is not just a thrilling tale of war and adventure, but a profound testament to the resilience and the ultimate fragility of those who dare to march into the pages of history, seeking glory or simply survival. This is their story, a story that deserves to be told. Who were the 10,000? They were a cross-section of the Greek world. Arcadians, Achaeans, Boeotians, even Spartans. United by the art of war, they formed a walking city, a mobile polis. Among them was Xenophon, an Athenian adventurer whose account, the Anabasis, preserves their story. These were professional soldiers, restless after the Peloponnesian War, lured by Cyrus's promise of wealth. Their discipline and the formidable hoplite phalanx made them the best infantry of their age. Their presence in Persia exposed the empire's vulnerabilities and foreshadowed future invasions. The March of the 10,000 was an accidental reconnaissance, revealing cracks in Persian power. Their journey would inspire leaders like Alexander the Great. The 10,000 were not just mercenaries. They were the first to show that the Persian giant could bleed. Their march was the first crack in the empire's armor. The story begins with deception. Cyrus the Younger recruited the Greeks under the guise of subduing a minor tribe, but his true aim was the Persian throne. The Greeks, enticed by pay and promises, marched east. Unaware they were pawns in a royal coup, suspicion grew as they crossed rivers and ancient cities, venturing far from home. Only at the Euphrates did Cyrus reveal his real plan to seize Babylon and dethrone his brother. The Greeks felt betrayed on the brink of mutiny. Cyrus, ever the manipulator, offered more pay and appealed to their pride. Reluctantly, the Greeks agreed. Too deep in enemy territory to turn back. They crossed the Euphrates, committed to a cause not their own. The die was cast. There was no return. The fate of the 10,000 was now tied to the ambitions of a Persian prince. Their gamble would lead them into the heart of the empire, and into legend. The march to destiny had begun. At Cunaxa, the armies of the two brothers clashed. Artaxerxes commanded a vast host. Cyrus relied on his Greek mercenaries. The Greeks, disciplined and unyielding, shattered the Persian line before them. Their phalanx advanced relentlessly, scattering foes with barely a fight. But Cyrus, driven by ambition, charged directly at his brother. He wounded Artaxerxes but was killed in the melee. With Cyrus dead, his rebellion collapsed instantly. The Greeks had won their battle but lost their cause. Alone, deep in enemy territory, they faced a new reality: survival. Their employer gone, their purpose vanished, they became fugitives in a hostile land. The victory at Cunaxa was hollow, a triumph that left them stranded. The war was lost, and the long ordeal home was about to begin. The 10,000 were now truly on their own. News of Cyrus's death left the Greeks stranded and leaderless 1,000 miles from home. Surrounded by hostile forces, they faced impossible odds. Artaxerxes, wary of their prowess, offered a truce, an escort north under the watchful eye of Tissaphernes. The Greeks marched in a tense procession, shadowed by Persians, through hostile lands and treacherous terrain. Food was scarce, local tribes attacked, and the weather turned bitter as they neared the mountains. Suspicion grew. The Persians' promises rang hollow. The Greeks marched in defensive formation, building fortified camps each night. Every step north was fraught with danger and uncertainty. The psychological strain was immense. Trust was gone, and the sense of a trap closing in was ever present. The long march had begun, but the greatest peril still lay ahead. The Greeks were not just fighting for survival, they were fighting for a way home. Their ordeal would test their unity, resolve, and very humanity. The true struggle was only beginning. The uneasy truce shattered with Persian treachery. Tissaphernes invited the Greek generals to a feast, then seized them in a deadly ambush. Leaderless, the Greeks faced annihilation. Panic and despair swept the camp. Many expected death at dawn. But in the darkness, Xenophon stepped forward. He rallied the officers, urging them to fight for freedom, rather than surrender to certain death. New leaders were elected, hope rekindled. The army, decapitated but not destroyed, found new resolve. The real march for survival began not just against enemies, but against the odds themselves. Xenophon's leadership transformed chaos into purpose. The 10,000 would not go quietly into oblivion. Their escape would become one of history's greatest feats of endurance. The ghost army was alive and fighting back. Xenophon's Anabasis meticulously recounts a brutal and harrowing journey north, a testament to human resilience in the face of unimaginable adversity. It was a trek through hostile tribes, each encounter a potential battle for survival. They faced freezing mountains, where the biting wind and relentless snow threatened to consume them, and endured constant ambush, never knowing when or where the next attack would come. The triumphant cry, "Thalata, Thalata! The sea," marked their first glimpse of hope, a beacon of salvation after months of relentless hardship. But not all survived this grueling odyssey. Thousands vanished along the way, lost to the unforgiving landscape and the ravages of war. Many died valiantly in battle, succumbing to the enemy's relentless attacks. Others perished from grievous wounds, the unforgiving cold, or the slow, agonizing grip of starvation. Their bodies were left in unmarked graves, scattered across the vast and desolate terrain. Some were likely captured, subjected to the horrors of enslavement, or brutally executed by the Persians or opportunistic local warlords. Others, driven to the brink, may have deserted, quietly assimilating into remote villages, seeking refuge in a new life. Over generations, their Greek heritage slowly fading, blending into the local culture. Legends persist to this day of foreign-founded villages, whispers of a forgotten past, scattered throughout the Caucasus and Anatolia, hinting at a hidden history. Could these remote communities be the descendants of the lost 10,000, their blood carrying the echoes of ancient Greece? The ultimate fate of the missing soldiers remains a haunting mystery, lost to the official records of history, but forever etched in our imagination. Their ordeal was not just a simple march, a mere movement of troops. It was a brutal test of survival against the treachery of betrayal and the relentless fury of the elements. The 10,000's journey is a timeless story of extraordinary endurance, profound loss, and the eternally haunting question: who truly made it home, and what did they find upon their return? Their legacy endures not only in the annals of history, but also in the silent echoes of those who disappeared, their stories untold. The Ghost Army lives on in legend, forever marching through the mists of time. For centuries, the 10,000 story was legend until archaeology began to uncover traces of their journey. Scholars have matched Xenophon's descriptions to real mountain passes and river valleys in eastern Turkey and northern Iraq. Artifacts like Greek sling bullets and ancient fortifications have surfaced in these regions, hinting at desperate battles. While not definitive, these finds lend credibility to Xenophon's account. The Lüdinghausen griffin, a Persian artifact found in Germany, may even be plunder carried by the 10,000, traded across continents. Each discovery is a faint echo of their passage, a physical link to a legendary march. The search continues, as history and archaeology work together to illuminate the path of the Ghost Army. The 10,000 story is written not just in words, but in the very earth they crossed. The 10,000's journey is more than an ancient adventure. It's a complex tapestry woven with threads of courage, desperation, and political intrigue. It's a testament to human resilience, a shining example of how far the human spirit can stretch when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds. Stripped of everything but the will to survive, facing starvation, hostile tribes, and the vast unknown, they became a mobile democracy, a society forged in the crucible of adversity. Electing leaders and debating strategy under fire, they proved that even in the most chaotic circumstances, order and reason could prevail. Their ordeal exposed the Persian Empire's weaknesses, revealing cracks in what was once considered an impenetrable power. This audacious campaign inspired future conquerors like Alexander the Great, who would later capitalize on those very vulnerabilities. Xenophon's Anabasis became a military manual, a timeless guide to leadership, strategy, and survival against all odds. Its lessons echoing through history, influencing military thinkers and leaders for centuries to come. For every survivor's tale, a testament to the strength of the human spirit, countless voices remain lost, unnamed heroes and forgotten victims of a brutal and unforgiving journey. They are the ghosts of those who vanished along the way, swallowed by the wilderness, claimed by disease, or cut down in battle. The fate of the missing is a blank space in history, a haunting reminder of the human cost of ambition and survival. It's a mystery fueling our imagination in search for truth, urging us to piece together the fragments of their lives. The March of the 10,000 was the prologue to the fall of empires, a catalyst for change that reverberated across the ancient world. Their story is a reminder of the chaos of war, the brutal realities of conflict, and the enduring scars it leaves on both individuals and civilizations. It speaks to the fragility of power, the fleeting nature of empires, and the ultimate triumph of the human spirit over adversity. It's a testament to the extraordinary things ordinary people can achieve when united by a common purpose and driven by the will to survive. The echo of their sandals, their despair, and their triumphant cry of Thalata, Thalata still resonates across the millennia. The Ghost Army's legacy endures, a spectral reminder of the past that continues to shape our understanding of the present. It lives on in legend, in history, and in the mysteries that remain, beckoning us to explore the depths of the human experience. The 10,000 remind us that history's true power lies not just in the facts we know, but in its unanswered questions, the enigmas that continue to challenge and inspire us. And so the ghosts march on, a timeless procession of warriors, dreamers, and survivors. They are calling us to remember, to wonder, and to seek the truth, to unravel the mysteries of the past and to learn from the lessons of history.